A cow looks over the wall at a bunch of humans working like mad on a farm. They look miserable, she thinks, and munches on a fresh patch of grass. She burps, she farts, she does a big shit right where she stands. They think I don't know what my future holds, she muses. But the truth is, I think a year or two of eating grass, having the occasional visit from that well-hung bull, and a quick and painless death seems better than their lives of interminable drudgery. What do you think, pig? Well, yes, I agree. Plenty of swill, dossing around getting fatter and fatter, no real parental responsibilities, and a largely threat-free existence looks much better to me than a life sentence of drudgery. I mean, have you seen what humans look like when they get old and tired? It's awful, truly awful. The chickens cluck in enthusiastic agreement as the old man hobbles by.
The cow separates from its corporeal form, leaves a cow-shaped effigy in the field, and floats up to a higher place. Here, a council of beasts assemble: cows, pigs, chickens, geese, waited upon by lions, elephants, pygmy shrews, hippos, and the like. They are gathered to consider the progress of their experiment, Human Earth, a complex laboratory simulation wherein the human animals, the dumbest of the dumb, are left alone to pursue their own destiny, free from the benevolent guiding hand of the animal kingdom. Hypothesis A is that they are smarter than the council first thought, and that, free from the yoke of farmyard animal control, they will discover their true potential and build a remarkable and liberating future for themselves and the rest of the universe. Hypothesis B, which now seems to be gaining considerable traction, is that they will fuck it up.
One particular human, a rather unprepossessing specimen, a little on the short and stumpy side, mousy hair, a red, pudgy nose, and a very small willy, stands looking into a mirror. The reflection is distorted so that he actually looks okay, if in a slightly weird and bendy way. He leans forward and kisses his reflection, the image morphing grotesquely as he gets closer to the glass. Next to him is another similar figure, a female this time, also staring into the glass, rocking backwards and forwards to kiss her own image. As the camera pans out, there are row upon row of figures staring into mirrors, then thousands of rows, millions, then trillions. In the background, a raging fire. It creeps towards the serried ranks, slowly engulfs them as they preen. The cow watches on from above, then scratches its ear ruefully with a hoof.
In an attempt to help the human animal to stop gazing at his own reflection and pay attention to the flames that will soon engulf them all, the cow decides to employ a technique of direct communication, only permitted if the Human Earth experiment stands real and imminent danger of being unable to continue. This involves beaming a voice directly into the human animal's brain that he will hear as his own. The supreme cow points out that obsessive self-love is setting up a paradoxical state whereby it will kill itself, the very thing that it loves most. As the truth sinks in, the human animal starts to clutch his head in pain and falls on the floor, writhing in existential agony. As he writhes, the flames creep forwards.
Unable to tolerate the competing voices in his head, the human animal begins to feel like he is splitting asunder. Just when he feels he can bear it no longer, he sees a fine-looking female human suffering in the same way. Their hearts reach out and begin to pump in sync. The torment in their brains starts to subside as they wrap themselves together in a bubble, a small, self-contained world of their own. The bubble lifts them higher and higher above the throng, and they float away oblivious to the carnage that rages below.
Time passes. As the relationship between the human animals develops, the things that drew them together, that were so intriguing, so different, so other, start to really grind. Nothing much is said, but inside them both a roiling frustration begins to grow. One day, an angry pimple appears on the face of the male human animal. He squeezes it, and it starts to spurt faster and faster. As the mound of pus grows bigger, his body empties out and his skin flutters down like an empty balloon and lands next to the giant pile of pus. The female human animal begins to develop a rash, which steadily grows redder and more fierce. She spins steadily out of control, the fever rising higher and higher, her skin smouldering hotter and hotter, until finally she bursts into flames. We are left with a gently smoking pile of ash and an oozing pile of pus. Then nothing.
Below our now deceased weirdo couple, human animals continue to have sex, produce babies, and breed cows that the babies suckle, then munch. The babies grow rapidly, have sex, produce babies, and breed cows for their own babies to suckle and munch. Sex, suckle, munch, sex, suckle, munch, sex, suckle, munch, on and on and on in a breeding and feeding frenzy. Human animals, and of course their cows, spread across the earth like a plague. Eventually, the earth can stand no more.
The Council of Beasts meet to consider the state of the human animals who, despite being bequeathed a bountiful and beautiful planet and the capacity for loving relationships, seem to have self-destructed anyway. The Supreme Cow decides to offer one last clue in the hope of 11th hour redemption. They invent a device that will keep humans fit, distract them from their more morbid thoughts and preoccupations, and their destructive hunger. The device can be used solo, in pairs, or in groups, will give them pleasurable endorphin releases, and importantly, give them some clues about how they might generate energy without digging up huge holes in the ground, smashing up the environment, producing tons and tons of smoke and fumes, and melting the polar ice caps. Simple. A bicycle.
The human animals slowly rise from their torments, the smouldering ashes and mouldering piles, and mount their bicycles one by one. They set off, a trickle, a torrent, a deluge. The burning earth starts to rotate again. The oceans turn blue, the land greens, and the flames subside. They arrive at a clearing in the forest, rich with animals and bees, vines, exotic flowers, and cascading waterfalls. They start to dance, wildly flailing limbs and ecstatic spirals, desperate, beautiful, unleashed. The cow looks over their progress with considerable pride. She smiles ruefully, reaches up, and flicks a switch marked